Okay, I know we're expecting a few more, but conscious we've got a lot to cover today. So welcome to the Helix webinar series. Today's session is on unlocking the power of self-help in service and operations management. I'm joined by both Barty and Michelle, who will introduce themselves formally shortly. Today we've got quite a few areas we're going to cover along with a demo. Just a reminder, there is the Q&A section of Zoom. If you've got any questions during the presentation and demo, please put that in there and you will remain muted until the end. We should have roughly around 20 minutes or so where we will take the questions into a live Q&A. So with that, I'm now going to hand over to Barty shortly, but just quickly, there is a legal notice because there's a lot of information we're going to be sharing today. So we are recording this session as well. So if you can click 2 slides along, Michelle, and we can go to the agenda for Barty to introduce us. Next slide. Perfect. Over to you, Barty.
Thanks, Sam. Hello, everyone. I am Bharti Poddar, an information architect in the information experience team. And I'm joined by my colleague, Michelle Marcus, who is a Gainsight expert, and she will help us with the question and answers today during the session.
Thank you, Bharati.
Okay, so today on the agenda, we have a rich ecosystem of self-help resources in BMC products. So we will be going through them. And then we will also look at the self-help enablement for on-premises service management users, and we will see how that can be done. And moving on, we will look at the tracking settings for individuals and the entire organization, followed by the Q&A, where Michelle will be helping us out with her expertise. Okay, next slide, Michelle.
I got a message that said host has stopped your video.
That was so you can concentrate on the slide. So if you want to move to the next slide, you're fine. You should be able to move it.
Okay,
Perfect.
Are you seeing the slides now?
Yes, yes, we
Okay.
are.
Okay. So BMC products, they provide a diverse self-help resources where the content is organized into categories. So if you see on the screen on the right, the content in the self-help widget, it is organized into different categories and it can be accessed from the self-help icon on the screen. And the content is curated to guide users to help them with specific tasks within the product. Now, there is different types of content that is available. Users can know what new features are available in a release through the What's New announcements. The welcome tours or the product tours, they help users get familiar with the product and it demonstrates the key features of the product. Various guides show step-by-step instructions to help customers complete a task. Now, some products also have contextual guidelines, guidance within the application, and the contextual tab that is available within the self-help widget. It guides users to the most relevant resources based on the current screen that you are on. Apart from that, there are different categories of, we have the setting up and going live, which is mainly for administrators. And this content helps admin to set up the product and get started with using the product. And there are links to documentation, videos, and other resources for the administrators. Similarly, there are also different links, documentation links, video playlists, training and certifications, and also a link to the BMC community that is available within the self-help widget. So overall, the self-help widget is a one-stop guide within the product to all the self-help resources. And in this demo, we will explore each of the categories in detail. Okay. So we'll move on to the product demo. And today in this session, we are taking an example of BMC Helix dashboards. And we will see how the self-help resources, what is available within this product, and how you can make use of these resources that are available here. Now, when you log in for the first time, the What's New slider is shown, and this will automatically pop up when the product is upgraded to the latest version. You can click the arrow to see the latest updates in the release. And you'll notice that there is also a show me later button. Now, this is something like the snooze button on an alarm, where you can choose to view this announcement later, and it will come later to you if you don't want to view it at this time. Okay. So on the screen, you will notice that the self-help icon is available on the right corner of the product UI. It can be dragged and you can place it anywhere within the UI framework. So you can choose to place it at a convenient location wherever you would want to place it on the screen. And when you click the self-help icon, so you will notice that the what's new announcement that we closed earlier, it is also available in the widget, which you can view at any point. And the updates of the latest release is always available to view whenever you want to see it. So whenever the product is updated, you will always see the latest what's new here. And there is also a link to the additional enhancements. You can also have a look at the documentation where the detailed enhancements are listed. So when you click on more what's new, the documentation links opens in a new tab, and you can have a detailed look at the enhancements. Okay. Next, we have the welcome tour, which takes users through the key features and functionalities of the product. And when you go through the tour, it shows the UI screens and guides the users. So this helps new users understand the full potential of the product at the start. And you can follow the instructions on the screen and move to the next screens and see what are the other main features within the product. Now, this is useful, which is wherein it helps new users get quickly oriented with the product. And so it also shows what are the key screens where these tasks can be performed. And it gives you a brief overview about what are the key use cases within the product that you can perform. Okay. And the welcome tour guide, it ends with, you can have a look at the overview video for additional details, or you can also go in through the training links that are available, and you can go through the detailed trainings that is available for the product. Now, this is a good resource, and you can point new employees or those who are new to the product to this tour to help them get quickly oriented with the product. And it also has links to the documentation as well as additional training and certifications. Now, let's see an example of a how-to guide. For example, if you want to know how to schedule reports to send it to specific people, let's see how scheduling report distribution, this interactive guide helps me achieve this task. Now, when you start with this guide, it gives you a brief overview and it explains the use case that this guide is going to help me with. And I can go ahead with the walkthrough. Here, you have to perform the steps and actions as directed by the on-screen instructions. So you have to click on the guidance, or you have to follow whatever the steps is telling you on the screen and follow those sequence. Now, this helps the users understand the flow of the application. And in this case, within this guide, you can also it's directing you to add some input. So you have to specify the text input here. And in this case, you'll also have to select something from the drop-down list. So this is actually where you're performing a task. And at the end of this guide, you will be able to successfully schedule a report and send it to specific recipients. But we will not complete the tour within this demo in the interest of time. And as you see, even whenever you close any of the interactive guide, you can at any point in time go back to the self-help widget, open it, and again rerun the guide and complete it at your own pace. So we've seen that interactive guides help you accomplish key tasks within the product, and the sequence of steps, it helps you navigate through different screens within your application. Okay. We'll look at the context-aware content in the user screen. Yes. So on some specific screen, you will see content that is relevant to the screen that you are on. For example, on this screen, when you click self-help, and you will see that there is a specific tab where you can see resources that are specific for that screen. And this is useful to see the relevant actions in context. In this case, you see that there is a guide that is available, which will help you through creating users and screen access and roles. And then there is videos and documentation links. So you can make use of these, go through these resources to understand more about the functionality of the screen. Okay. Now there is also search available within the self-help widget. So say, for example, if I'm looking for some content that's available out of the box within this product, it shows me what relevant help content is available. Now, in this case, I have a guide, which is about starting with out-of-the-box dashboards. So this is an interactive guide that can that you can run and see how you can start off with creating quick dashboards by using the out-of-the-box dashboards. Or you can go through any of the links. It's the links have details about the out-of-the-box visualization plugins and out-of-the-box roles and everything that is available out of the box in the product. Now, the different tabs within the search result screen, it shows you the different categories. Like we have one guide that is available, and there are links within the documentation links. So this is available from this is the doc links that are picked from the latest documentation that's available. The useful links tab shows content that is specific to what you have added within the self-help widget. Okay, so overall, you can make use of the search results to go through any relevant content that you want help on. Okay, so these are the specific content that is available. Apart from that, under the more resources category, there are different categories, and one is the setting up and going live, which is specific to administrators. And this category has a curated list of documentation links that administrators should complete to set up the product and get started. So these are the sequence of tasks that generally an admin would do to set up the product. And it is a mix of, you have guides, there are documentation links, and there are also videos that administrators can follow this sequence and to complete the setup of the product. The documentation and videos category guides users through their journey through documentation links. There are documentation links through some of the key documentation links, like we have the release notes as well as the homepage of the documentation that's available within this category. Another useful link is you have the link to the YouTube playlist. So it opens the product playlist on a separate tab, and you can choose to view any of these videos depending on the feature that you are interested in. So you can look at any of the features, and if there's a video available, you can play the video, and this is a comprehensive list of all the videos that are available within this playlist. Similarly, there is also a playlist of all the webinars that are available for the product. So this is also another useful resource where you will find a list of all webinars that are done by the SMEs, and you can go through any of the webinars. The next within the categories are links to Support Central, which to log into Support Central, you will need a support ID. And when you click on the Support Central, it will open up. You will have to, if you have the access, then you can have links to the knowledge articles and all the other Support Central activities is what you can view when you go into Support Central. There are also links to trainings and certifications. Now, this is something that can be recommended for new users within your organization. And there are links to specific trainings or even the generic training and certification, which shows a link, details about all the certifications that are available for the product. Or you can also choose any specific training link that is listed within this category. And finally, there is the link to the community page where you can look at blogs, any upcoming events within this for this product, and also articles that are related to this product. So this is another useful link that is available from within the self-help widget. So in general, you can use the self-help widget or the in-app tool as your one-stop launching point for all self-help resources. And this helps as with a seamless and intuitive self-help experience for all our users. So instead of bookmarking any specific links or even wanting, if you're not sure about where do I go in to look for any community articles or for training, you have all the resources consolidated within the self-help widget. And this will help you cater to all your learning needs, is what you will find all the resources within the self-help widget. Okay, we'll go back to the presentation. Okay, now what we saw here so far within the demo, and all the self-help content is available by default to all SaaS users. But for service management on-premises users, also the self-help is available. And this can be enabled by the configuration setting that is available in Innovation Studio. And so the link here, the documentation links here has instructions on how to enable the settings. And so when you enable the data collection settings, which is available in the analytics and improvement screen, you also enable the self-help for that product. Now, note that when you enable the tracking in Innovation Suite, it also applies to all service management apps like DWP, ITSM Insights, BWF. And so this is how you can enable self-help for all of the service management applications. Now, make sure that when you are enabling the self-help, that the load Gainsight script from BMC IT setting is always enabled. And you need to select on-prem as the deployment mode. And we recommend that you use production for all your production environments. That is the environment type, within the environment type dropdown. Select production for all your production environment and integration for all non-production environments. So this is how you can enable the self-help when for any SaaS for service management on-premises products. Okay. Now, to summarize the tracking settings that are available for SaaS and on-premises products, we've seen that by default, self-help is enabled at the organizational level for all the SaaS products, and how it can be done for the service management on-premises. So that is when you enable the data collection, that enables the self-help also for the service management on-premises. Now, we've also seen that at an org level, that you can enable and disable the data collection for on-premises through the screen that we just saw. And we will see how that can be done for the IT operations management products. And in the demo that we will go through now, we will also see how the individual user preferences can be changed from the user profile screen. So one point to remember here is, while the administrators can enable the self-help and the data collection, even individual users have the option to change the settings for at their individual level account also. So that is what we will see in the demo that follows. Okay, so we'll go back to the example of in Helix dashboards. So in Helix dashboards in the screen now here, I'm logged in here as an administrator. And you will see the analytics screen. There is a section on analytics and improvements from where an admin can enable data collection for the organization. So this is from where admin can enable it. And this enables only the data collection in SaaS environment. And note that the self-help is already by default enabled for ITOM and ITSM SaaS users. So this is from where the admin, once they enable it, then it is available for the entire organization. And they can also disable the telemetry from the screen. And this is for the operations management SaaS users. You can disable the telemetry from by disabling the option from here. Now, when you log in as an individual user, okay, so when the admin has enabled the telemetry for the account, individual users can choose to, by default, it is when the admin enables it for all users, it is enabled by default for all the users also. But individual users can choose to disable the data collection at the individual level. So that can be done again from the user profile screen, and there is a settings on. So for different products, you might have the settings name might be a little different. I think for ITSM products, we have it as analytics setting, and some of the ITOM products, it is mentioned as data collection. Okay, so from here, you can choose to enable or disable the data collection. Okay. So that's it about the demo on self-help implementation. Do we have any questions?
But just before we go to the questions, actually, Bharti, and thank you for this presentation today. And also, I know Michelle's been running the slides today. Hopefully you found it very useful. We've also got a QR code here that I've been sent from our advocacy team. We'd love you to share some feedback. So if you're interested and you work in the BHOM space or AIOps, if you scan that code, and again, we will be sending this out. So if you don't have your phone handy at the moment, do not worry. And we are giving a little gift as well. And I'm sure if you're not in the US, it won't be in dollar form, it will be in pounds or wherever your local currency is. So if you could just have an opportunity to fill this in. Everything we've shared today, we will be sharing out in the next 24 to 48 hours. We will also share any questions that come through, and I will send that out in a thank you email to you. I know Bharti and Michelle, we do have one question, so I will just take Chris's question while I unmute everyone. And if anyone else has any questions in the interim, please put it in the Q&A or raise your hand. So Bharti and Michelle, Chris's question was, is there anything on the SaaS version? So Chris, I don't know if you want to come off of mute, if you're still there. I'm just having a look. I think he might have disappeared. So yes, his question came in at the start. So I don't know if you can answer that question, Bharti, why I just unmute everyone else.
So I assume that what he's asking is about, because you saw we mentioned that there's, and this is Michelle, that there's on-premise for SAT or ITSM on-premises or service management on-premises, you can enable it, but it's already enabled for SaaS. So there's nothing for the SaaS customers to do to have to enable the self-help. And in service management, and I will take you back to that slide, I think, yes, where we have it. In service management, enabling data collection at the organization level enables the self-help, but in SaaS, we have that it's enabled, the self-help is available regardless. For SaaS on service management, they're not turning off the data collection at the organization level. If they do want that, they'll have to speak with support, but it would also disable the self-help. In operations management, regardless of the setting for data collection, you still get the self-help, and the self-help is available only for in operations management, only for the SaaS customers.
Thank you, Michelle. I will obviously pass on the feedback, and if he has any further questions, I'll let you know. So that's great. Thank you for that. Thomas, I can see you've got a question. So Thomas's questions is, where do I find self-help in DWP or in BMC ITSM, aka Smart IT on SaaS?
All right, so it somewhat depends on what version you are on, but I will go back into my environment here. And if on Digital Workplace, it's not for the end users because, of course, we can't know. We're not going to tell them how to use it. It's fairly basic, and you know the most about the catalog. But for the catalog, also for Digital Workplace Admin, we do have the self-help widget. It started in Digital Workplace in version 22.106 and more recent. If you're on an older version, do upgrade for ITSM, and you can see it's here in the corner. You can see also in ITSM, it's here in the corner as well. For ITSM, meaning the Smart IT PWA, it started with 23.3.
Thomas, does that answer your question? If you want to come off mute.
Not really. So, okay, DWP, I'm talking about the standard UI, not the specific services. But in what you are currently showing, I can't find this button. I don't see any
So are you
self-help
looking in Digital Workplace Catalog, or are you in the admin tool?
I'm talking about Smart IT.
Smart IT.
What are you talking
Okay,
about?
yes. So
Yes,
I'm
for
in
example.
Smart IT.
In the in the
And
lower right corner, this self-help button does not appear on the SaaS versions I'm working on. That is 23.303 or 304. And can't find it. I've never seen it. And customers are asking, and I couldn't tell them where to find it. So therefore, I'm
I
asking
will
you.
take note of that and get back to our SaaS ops to make sure about that. But what I will mention is the instructions that you have for the on-premise. I believe it will also work for you. And let me just take you back to the PowerPoint. If you go to the instructions on here, they tell you the name of this form, and it is possible to enable it there. Now, it should have been there. So, if you have customers, do let us know. And we are checking with the SaaS ops because we have heard one or two customers where it wasn't enabled, and I'm surprised to hear that it is more than the occasional gap. So we will follow up on that. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Thomas. I'll obviously provide you my details, and we can follow up on that and liaise. Okay. Another question that we've got in the Q&A. So this is from Julian. We have a report with login lines. Can we show to the user that they view the report just the lines? Where is his user in the report? Configure in variables somehow. I don't know if Julian, you want to come off of mute and explain as well? Hello. Can you hear us? Michelle, I'm not sure, and Barty, if that makes sense. I can see he's off mute, but can't hear it.
This
Yes.
sounds like it is actually a question about dashboards. Is that correct? Am I understanding correctly?
Julian, if you can just reply in the chat, I think you've got problems with audio. I know when some people join and it's not via the client, often it doesn't enable your audio. So if you just want to put a bit more detail into the Q&A, that would be great. Michelle, while we're waiting
So
for
while
Julian. Yes, sir, go on.
While we are waiting, what I will mention is if your question is specifically about dashboards, unfortunately, I am not an expert on dashboards, but it's possible that Bharati can answer some of the question and some of that information might be available from the self-help. If what you are asking is about customized self-help, that is not an option, that the self-help is what's available out of the box assistance.
He can hear us, but I don't know if you can give a bit more detail. So I guess, Michelle, what other information do you need from Julian? We're trying to chat on the Q&A.
So I guess my question is, and Julian, maybe you can just type in if your question is about how to create a report.
If it's looking for information on how to configure variables, it's there in the documentation, but it's not clear whether what information is exactly looking for.
Sure. So, I mean, one choice is if you weren't sure of what to do, type in variables and see what comes up. We don't have a specific guide on that or useful link, but there are many things from the documentation that we get from our search here. So setting up variables for dashboards, filtering, etc. And you can click and then get to the documentation that we have available on that.
Okay, I can see he's put something in the chat. Yes, it's about dashboards. I'm asking how to filter data in one report. And he had seen that article.
So it does mention about filtering on here, I see. So I don't know how much it gives here. So there are to configure additional dashboard filters by using tags. I unfortunately don't know enough details about dashboards, and this isn't a dashboard session.
Okay, so I will reach out to Nikhil, who is the dashboard's product manager. So Michelle, I'll take this offline, and we've got a couple of dashboard sessions coming up. So Julian,
Sure.
I'll also pass you the registration for next week. We've got a webinar on the 28th, which is actually an update of dashboards. I would love you to join that, and we can ask that question in the Q&A there if you're available. If you're not, I'll touch base with you offline and we'll get some more details. But I work with the wider dashboards team regularly, and we've got a lot of sessions coming up very soon. So I think we'll take that one offline, Michelle. Hopefully that will help, Julian. Thank you. Okay, we don't have any other questions at the moment. Does anybody else want to come off mute and ask us a question or put something into the Q&A? Michelle and Bharti, was there anything else in general that you wanted to share? Because I know as a team that you work a lot with documentation, we're doing a lot of videos. Was there anything else in general that would be quite useful for the audience today?
I guess the other thing, is just, as you're aware, our documentation is updated with each release, and with each release, we often have videos as well, showing you things that are new and showing you more detailed about some of the features. Oh, and great, Thomas. I'm glad to see that you were able to enable your self-help, but Sam will reach out to you, and it will be good to have more of this data so that we can go back and find out why this isn't being enabled for the SaaS customers.